Well, good evening, everybody. It should be it's pretty late at night right now, and I figured I will give you guys an update. Let me zoom in on my project here. Give me a second. I'm trying to adjust the camera. I'm working on the flashback now. Let me see if I can't get that cord out of the way too. Come on. There we go. See, I want the camera to be right on the edge of this end because you can see everything that I'm doing. Now I just got to get that wire out of the way to explain what I'm doing. Come on. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Also, let me try to put my channel up so I can see what I'm doing live here on my computer. Stop. Got the music off. All right, and I need to go to my channel. All right, there I am. Okay. So, nobody's on yet, and that's okay. Anybody jumps in, I know it's pretty late at night. More the merrier. I welcome you. I had to change the lip line from the old, and I completely resculpted the jaw line a little bit. All right. So basically, there's a lot that's different about the flashback mask. All right. This is going to be the flashback mask. Now, a lot of the upper area has been done already. The eye cuts are pretty much dead on with the flashback. The scowl is overhanging the eyes. These lower eye cuts, I had to bump these all out and fill this all in this area because it had to be, the eye cuts are literally flush with the nose, the back of the nose, right in here. So she went down and then the cheek drops down. So my original Night Creeper, when I changed the scowl line, protruding more further out this way, it's sticking out further. So we have this nice overhang with the upper scowl and eye cuts. They overhang now by, I'm going to say, quite a bit. I can show you on an angle. But what happened was I noticed like my old jawline and everything didn't work once I bumped this out too much. I noticed there was a lot different, and I don't know, I couldn't get the lip line to match up right. It just didn't look right. It looked good on the original, but it's not the flashback. The flashback is an entirely different sculpture. The head shape is different. It's wider at the top here. I had to widen this. This was narrow. It was more egg-shaped. The whole and the actual sculpture of the flashback is more square. It's a square-shaped head, and mostly on the face. The back of the head, I didn't have to do. I did have to change the jawline up underneath the chin. I had to make this chin smaller. I had to taper this more in this area. I had to bring this in further, and I had to cut this line, this profile. Let me show you, I'll show you the profile real quick. Let me see if I can get that right, yes. Okay, that profile, it's still not dead on yet. I want to bring this chin line just a little bit further back, just a little bit more. All right, and I can do that while I'm talking to you. The reason why is the chin the key to this sculpture is getting the shape of the head just right, and I mean every aspect of it. The chin line has to be even with what was I thinking? It has to be, yeah, the chin line has to be even with the upper scowl right here. That chin line, when you're looking at it straight down the sculpture, you need it to be even with that, and it's almost there. It's almost there. It's just a little bit off. Now what I'm trying to do right now is I'm looking at the YouTube channel right now. I'm looking at the computer and seeing my live. And I had to make the jawline just right. Okay. Let me take a look at that jawline now. We're almost perfect. Yeah, the jawline, like even the upper, from the top of the nose to where the lip comes in, I'm dropping the lip line just a little bit further. That's why I closed all this in. I had to re-sculpt this whole area here. This whole area had to be redone. I'm even extending the neckline just a little bit. It looks real messy right now, and I'm also going to have to go all the way around this whole thing. But I'm going to actually extend this neckline and square it up and make it look really nice. This underneath is not as flat. It's more rounded and up and around this chin. It's not as flat as the original sculpture or the original mask. The 78, this chin was different. The flashback has been sculpted differently. It's not the same as the original 78, not even close. But we are going for a flashback mask. I am making this a flashback mask. And I keep getting a lot of requests, for that flashback. And I had to change a lot, especially with the jawline. I was talking to Pipe Master, who's on here quite often, and we both, because he's got a really good eye. He does. He really knows those masks really well, and he's actually owned a couple of those flashback masks that were produced by other artists out there. And there's a couple of artists that are absolutely amazing. Nag's one of them. Nag has a really good flashback mask. They're very expensive, and there's like a year wait to get one of those flashback masks. And the flashback mask is not available to purchase other than from a private artist like myself. And I'm going to be working on this flashback for months to come. I want this thing perfected. I really want it to look as close to the screen used mask as possible. I'm really not going to settle for less. I don't care. I already have the other mask pretty much done and ready. It's over here to my left. I want it perfect. Now, none of this stuff is absolutely 100% done in that area yet. I still have things that I see that I have to see how this jawline comes into play first. I have to see how everything lays out. Once everything is balanced the right way, then I'll have a better idea of the fine tuning that I have to do to the upper part. But you have to get everything kind of like really close. You can't. Right now, I piled up a lot of clay on the neck underneath. I put a lot of clay in here on both sides. I put a lot of clay right in this area and up underneath it here. I don't want this too flat right in here, and I don't want it to dip down like the original mask does, where there's a little gully in here, and then the chin line drops down. In the flashback mask, it literally is just what you see here is what it is in the flashback mask. Now what I'm saying here is like I still got a lot of work to do. With this, getting this just right. This is going to be one thing I had to do is make sure this taper was down like this, like on an angle. I had to make sure that taper was right because this line and the chin line, lip line, upper, all of that has to match. You can't have one going down this way and one going way back this way and the other one, these lines all have to go in the exact same direction. And it sounds like it's an easy task to do, but when you're dealing with a head shape, our faces are so different. It's really tough to hone in on it. And this is William Shatner. It's going to be fun. I love this business. I do. I can really hone in on this. Get this just right. You got to get this jawline right. Yeah, the jawline's a little more narrower in this area. I had to taper this whole thing tapered in more. That's what I found, and that's what was wrong. And the lip line was definitely off. It was higher on this end and lower on this end, and I have to get the lip line perfect. I want to get that lip line perfect, and in order to get it perfect, I had to get the jawline right. The jawline had to be right too, because that has a lot to do with the actual look. So I decided I just completely carved off the lips. I brought this back in. I shaved it all down. This was way puffed out. I'm talking literally the thickness of my finger is how much clay was right in this region on both sides. There's a lot. There's a lot to this sculpture. You can't just wing it. This takes a long time to really master. Every time you're trying to replicate somebody's face, it ain't easy, man. It is not easy. This is William Shatner's face. That's what we're trying to replicate. Oh man, see, that's all going to come off. You know what? I'm going to have to melt this clay to get it to stick. Yeah, this is not going to work. Okay. Well, I'll figure something else out. I'll figure something else out. Oh yeah, that's definitely. You know what it is? It's old clay. This old clay here, it's very hard to get the new clay to stick to it, especially in low region areas like this. So the main thing is let's just make sure. Just get it shaped right. And I think I'm going to be okay with the depth of this because I actually shaved off quite a bit of the neck underneath. I want the head to look rounded, there ain't going to be any of this. You're not going to see the 78 in this flashback at all. You will see the flashback from Kill's movie. When this is done, this is going to be a perfect flashback mask. I will not settle for less. I don't care. It's funny, I had to walk away from this sculpture several times to see what changes needed to be done, to figure it out. It's really not easy. It's not an easy sculpture. None of them are. They all have their individual looks, and that's what you have to realize. Each one of these sculptures has its own identity. It really does. Jawline has to be right here. See that little bulge out on the side, and then it tapers off right into the chin? That has to be right. Because even in the flashback mask, it has a little bit of that. The jawline has to be right. That really makes everything line up nice. It's believe me, this is. It takes a lot of patience. You have to love this. You cannot jump into sculpting, especially when you're dealing with. Now, some guys have been doing it for years, and they can be fast. You know, and this is what I've learned so far with doing this particular Michael Myers, is the longer you do this, the more you really understand the shapes of what it has to be. You really do get it. It can be, you know, you'll struggle. Believe me, you'll struggle, especially in the beginning time. You know, you should see all my crappy masks that I made leading up to getting fairly good at understanding the shape of the head and the shape of the face and the shape of the eye cuts, and knowing where the details have to be. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, not by far. And learning anatomy is definitely a plus and a help. You have to get that anatomy right. And I got a lot of work to do on this jawline yet. I really do. But once I have the shape correct, then it's just fine details, and that's the easiest part. So for me, the fine details are the easiest part. Getting the exact shape really right of everything, getting it right is really tough. I mean, you really do work your butt off trying to get that shape right. Now I'm just trying to hone in this jawline just a little bit further in. I want this to take, see what I'm doing. All right. I added clay right in here. All right. I want this jawline to go round, nice and rounded. Let me see. Let me turn it towards you. I want this jawline to go round. Same with both sides. I don't want it, I want both sides to look even the same way. Kind of hard in the light to see what I'm doing, but once this is really on the money, you see where the old lips are, right? I'll be able to really straighten them out now. I'll be able to really get them just right. And they sink a little bit here, they come up, and then they sink back down over here a little bit. There's a little bit of a frown to it. It's not a smile, but it's kind of like a non-expression. There's not really an expression to his lips. You wouldn't know whether, you couldn't tell what kind of mood Michael Myers was in. just by looking at the lips, not even close. It's a, that's the whole point of it. It's non-expressionless. It's a really non-expression. Um, right now, just trying to take off some of the clay that I piled on and getting the shape just right, and then it's going to be the details. Details are when you start smoothing it out like this. It's all smooth. But in order to get to those details, you've got to get the shape perfect first. Can't work. You don't work on details until you get the shape just right. Because you'll have the details perfect, but the head shape's not right. And if the head shape's not right, the mask will never look like the actual flashback mask. It won't even look nothing like it. And I'm still not happy with the upper part. I'm still not happy with this in this area. Even the nose is good. The eye cuts they look great the way they look, but there's something off about it. I still haven't put my finger on it. And that's why I've redone this jawline to hopefully bring this in, and maybe this was part of the problem with why this wasn't looking right. We're going to find out. We are going to find out. I've got tons of flashback pictures, still shots of the actual original the movie screenshots. I don't want to use other people's masks for this sculpture. I'm trying to use the actual screen shots from the actual mask. I've got a ton of those, and I want it to look good. This eyebrow is way too thick. I know that right here. Right here, it's way too thick in this area. Not a big deal. But the general shape of the eyebrows are there. That's pretty much how it is on the flashback. But I got a lot of work to do with this sculpture going into the months ahead through the summer. I plan on getting this, and I am not going to stop this until this thing looks exactly like that flashback mask. I've done a lot of work to this off camera so far. This is completely different from let me show you. I got the foam master copy, foam filled master copy of the Night Creeper. Oh, where'd it go? Is that it down there? No, that's not it. Where did I do it? Is this it? Yeah. Now even this has been altered just a little bit. If I put this side by side with this, you're not going to believe the difference in the face. And it's hard to do. Let me put it on the other side of it, because I've got this on the other side. Hold on. All right. And I gotta turn it a little bit so it's facing you. There's a big difference in how this sculpture looks compared to this new one. The eye scout, this area here, is bulging out further. You can see that. You see how low these are. This is very low. These eye cuts are sunk back way further. They're like behind the cheek. They line up about right here on the nose, as far as the depth of the lower eye cut. And on these eye cuts, they line up right at the top, right up here, right about there. And what I'm talking about is depth. So, I mean, this is a nice looking mask, yeah, but it's nowhere near as good as this is going to be as far as accuracy to the original. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really nice uh, sculpture when it's all said and done. Um, you can see how much wider this is down here uh, compared to how much more narrow I've made this. I've come to a peak. The lip line has to be right. That really has to be right on the money. Um, yeah. So with that being said, that's where I'm at. I've got to get this really good. I want to get this really nice. You know, the eye cuts are a lot different on this compared to this. See how this slopes down more? See how the outer edge, and these are wider, believe it or not. Although this is smaller because it shrunk up because of it's latex now filled with foam. See how much smaller this shrinks up even with the foam filled? I mean, this is huge compared to the foam filled master copy. So, yeah, there's a lot that goes into, like this eye cut. This eye cut looks completely different than this one. This looks completely different. Also, the scowl is much lower. It's not prominent. It doesn't really stick out as far as you think it does. The whole thing sticks out further, but this area here, those are a lot more subtle than this here. It doesn't look like it, but they are. They're much subtle. They're more subtle than and this doesn't have quite the meanness to it as this has expression of meanness. So, yeah, there's a lot to it. But guys, I just wanted to share with you what's going on and how much more work or what I've been doing. I'll give you a quick update with my heart. I'm still in arrhythmia. My body's getting used to the arrhythmia, so I don't really feel it as much. I get my moments where it gets bad, but I get winded easily. I'm getting an ablation done. That's where they don't shock, they short out the nerves that are causing the arrhythmia, and then they put me back into normal sinus rhythm. And sometimes the surgery takes 2 or 3 times to get it right, which is okay. I don't care about that as long as I'm perfect when I'm done. And the ablation's probably not going to happen until sometime in April. March 20th, I get a sleep study done. Then I have to get a stress test done. After the stress test is finished, then they schedule for the ablation. So I have to get the 2 things done prior to getting the ablation. And then the ablation can take anywhere from 3 to 6 hours being under. And it's mainly because they have to map the electrical current in your heart to find out where the problem is. Mostly the reason why your heart pumps is electrical impulses. All right, when you have your heart pumping, it's because of the electrical system that's in your heart. Now, what will happen is something's shorting out or something's not working right. Now it's like beating like boom, 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 boom. Long hesitations I get sometimes, but I'll get this irregular heartbeat, and the only time they worry about it is if the rate's real high, tempo-wise, BPM. It was all the way up to like 145. That's when it feels awful. 145 to 160. And then what they do is they put you on medication to bring that heart rate way down. You're still in a regular heartbeat, but my rate is about 60 beats per minute now at rest, which is normal rate for the average person. It's just that your body gets used to the arrhythmia. The minute I know I'm in arrhythmia is when I do any kind of activity that tires me out. Any kind of stress or anything like that, just it makes my heart race and it feels awful. So, yes, I have to get it fixed. It's going to get fixed. I'm not worried about it. It's the ablation. There's like a 1% chance of serious, you know, death, if you want to call it that. 1%. My back surgery was 50-50. If I had anything done to that to fix to even give me possible relief, 50-50%. Now I was like 50% chance, so I didn't go near that. But this is 1%. It's not a high risk. Anything's risky when you go under the knife, yes. But this is basically, they go through the groin with a catheter, they go into your heart with a catheter, and they burn the electrical current, the electrical misfires, whatever's misfiring in my heart to make it beat irregularly. They short it out with either freezing it, depending on the surgeon. It's his choice. He either uses freezing liquid that completely ruins that nerve ending for good. It just shorts it out permanently, or they burn it. I don't care which one they use. It's not gonna matter to me. I'm gonna be out cold on that table. As a matter of fact, I'll shut my eyes and it'll feel like the next minute when I wake up, 3 to 6 hours later. So I'm looking forward to getting this done and feeling normal again. Holy I don't know how I'm going to act because I've been in arrhythmia now for probably a good month and a half. Since right after Christmas. So it's been hell. My body's getting used to it, but I don't even know what it feels like to be normal. So when that's all done, now I'm going to really go hardcore into this. I have to be careful about what I do. I can't do too much stressful stuff. I can't lift a lot of this stuff, heavy stuff. I'm not supposed to be lifting anything. Not supposed to be walking a lot. I'm down 80 pounds, guys. I've lost a lot of weight. I don't know if you can see it in my hands. I've lost a lot of weight. But it's only part of the battle for me. Weight loss is, yes, I'm excited because I'm going to be able to go back on my bike possibly by summer. I want to get back on the bicycle. But my heart has to be normal first. Can't do any of that stuff until I get back to normal sinus rhythm. But this is going to be the the flashback mask. That's where we're at. That's the health update. There's not much I can do about it until we get these studies done and get the heart fixed. And then I'm going to go hardcore into this business because I really love it, and I really want to dedicate the rest of my life to my art. That's for sure. I love I love my other work too. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't have the same passion as I used to for it. And I guess it's because of the way society is today. Not going to get into details, but it's just different today. It's not like it used to be. But that's what's going on, guys, and I just wanted to keep you up to date. I'm going to end this stream. Nobody joined me, but you guys can catch this update. You can catch this update. I'll upload it so you guys can watch it. Yeah, getting some work done, guys. I am not slouching, even though I've got the health issues. I'm still doing things. I just can't put a lot of energy into. I'm just really picky about, like, when I feel good, let's do something. When I don't feel good, I don't do anything. So I can't get on a set schedule, and that's really what I want to do with this channel, is to really be able to, once a week, I'm going to produce 2 videos. One's going to be live for all your questions, and the other one's going to be pre-recorded. We got a guy that does a lot of effects. He's gonna edit the videos so they're right to the point, not a lot of jibber jabber. Working on projects and doing things, and you get to see how to with not a lot of talk. There'll be talk, but there won't be a ton of it, and it'll be more about how do you do it. And then from there, um, you know, we'll see what happens. You know, I want to grow the channel. I want to grow the channel to where it's monetized and I start making some money with it. That's the goal. So do me a favor, share the content, hit the like button, uh, become a subscriber if you're not, and let people know about it. You know, there's a lot of people out there doing the same thing, the how-tos. I just don't really copy. What I'll do is I learn something from somebody, just like all the other YouTubers out there. You learn something and then you put your own little twist on it, you know, and you might find a better way when you do that. The one guy that I don't think I could ever top, and that's Alan Hops. He is so amazing with, like, you know, just his ability to be able to find a cheaper way to do it. It's uncanny. Well, I get it, but I also understand, you know, he's been in the business for 35 years. So hats off to Alan Hops at Stilt B Studios. Always want to go check him out. You also want to check out Nick Mulpagano when it comes to the Michael Myers mask. I love him too. He's such a great guy. I like his work. And he was so right, man, because I bought his videos on how to do this stuff. And this is what got me in to making the Michael Myers, was Nick Mulpagano. So hats off to Nick Mulpagano, and a big thank you. And but my passion isn't, I mean, it seems like it, because that seems like that's all I've been working on is the Michael Myers. But my passion is monsters. I like monster making. I like doing all that stuff. But the challenge has been, I've always wanted to make a Michael Myers mask. So I was like, you know what? Let's tackle the hardest possible thing first. And then after that, everything else becomes a lot easier. And that was my concept to it. So that's why I chose to tackle the Michael Myers. And when I first started it, I thought, it can't be all that difficult. Man, was I wrong. Nick was very right about that. He says, you really have to learn the anatomy. You have to learn how that face looks as far as the William Shatner look. It's very difficult to master. Guys that have been doing it for years, yes, they've got it down. But now, after doing it for 3 years now, I have a really good idea of what it's supposed to look like versus what I originally started out as. What a nightmare! What a night and day difference. I thought that was good. Oh my God, not even close. Terrible. You know, and you'll find that as you keep growing with this business, your work gets better and better and better and better, and more understanding, and how to approach your art. You know, you have different things you have to do to get the right, to get the look, to achieve the things that you're trying to achieve. It just takes time. It takes time and practice, lots of work. It's not like riding a bicycle either. You don't just do this and then step away for months at a time and then come back to it and then pick right up where you left off. It doesn't work that way. I work on something, and then when I feel like I'm frozen, like I'm not sure what is wrong. I see something wrong, but I can't figure it out. I stop what I'm doing, and then I start breaking into all the pictures, and I really study the pictures, study the pictures, over and over again. Learn every detail, every little inch of that mask, of the picture that you're looking at, and keep looking at it until it all kind of like, oh, I know what's wrong. And that's what I did with the jawline here. That's why I had to change this jawline. And I'm going to have to add a little more here where I took away right in this area. It was just a little too much. I took away. This side's pretty good. The shape's right there, right where it needs to be. I just need to fix this little area right in here. Yep. But like I said, it's a learning curve, and there's a lot of learning involved. So it goes with anything. To get good at something, you don't just step into it and be perfect. There's no way. Even if you're a great artist, and I mean some masterful artists, when they first start projects like this, or first time they ever put their hands on clay, they're not going to be perfect because there's a lot of techniques and stuff that you have to learn. Um, you know, on how to do certain things, just how to bring it in. You know, how to look at pictures, how to look at. You got to remember, pictures are only two-dimensional. If you have a three-dimensional object, you really got it made. But most times, you're dealing with pictures, and you're guessing the depth of something. You're guessing how deep something is, or you know, because you can't see three-dimensional. You know, you're depending on a lot of angled pictures, seeing the angles and seeing all the different angles of the object to get a better understanding on its on what it's supposed to look like. So there's that, guys. This is bothering me. It's so. So not right. There you go. That was a lot better. It was just way too thick there. So, all right, guys, I'm going to say goodnight. You guys have a wonderful day. It's President's Day. Well, it's probably moved on past that. I don't know if it's after midnight or not, but have delayed President's Day. And yeah, we should be working on some good stuff in the near future. All right, guys. Yeah, I've got my guys involved. It looks like my buddy's got a job. They're lined up. Everything's starting to come into play. It's a tough time of the year around here because we live in a resort area, so it's tough to get work. But the guy's brilliant, and I think he's going to be well. He's going to do well living down here. And we're going to get this business off the ground. Looking forward to it. And I'm looking at this sculpture from this angle. I'm looking at it from here on this angle. So it looks pretty good. And I'm looking at the shape of the jawline and everything. That looks really good. Oh yeah. Just have to refine it a little bit more and more. That's all. Just gotta keep it moving forward. All right, guys. Peace. And I'll see you on the next video. And my old. All right, next video, guys. Peace. Have a good night.